Well, that looked weird. Fight night is coming up this Saturday as the UFC is back with UFC 317 from Las Vegas, Nevada. In the main event, Ilia Topuria is daring to be great, moving up to 155 pounds, taking on Charles Oliveira, while Alexandra Pantoja is back to defend his flyweight championship in the co-main event against Kai Kara France. So, what are our first impressions of this one? Well, first and foremost, let's focus on the main event. Ilia Topuria has a chance to move into another all-time tier if he can get the win in this lightweight championship bout coming up on Saturday. He has been on a fantastic run. He is incredibly talented. We do kind of know, though, if you want that GOAT status, bare minimum, point of entry seems to be a two-division champion. And now he has the opportunity to do that as he goes for the 155-pound title after vacating the belt at 145 pounds when he goes up against Charles Oliveira this weekend. I think the world of this kid as a fighter. I think that he has face of the UFC potential, and this could kind of help solidify that. Like, we are talking about a superstar, and while he has already had crowning moments with big wins over Volkanovski and Max Holloway, by the way, I'm not cherry picking. Those are his last two. If you can now oust someone who is like bordering on that UFC legend status in Charles Oliveira, that is a gigantic feather in the cap to keep pushing that narrative forward that this is the guy now of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. From a fight standpoint, I'm interested to see what Topuria looks like with an extra 10 pounds on that frame and how that kind of translates into this fight against Charles de Bronx. I think the world of de Bronx as a fighter, but I don't think he is going to present anything that Max Holloway or Alex Volkanovski didn't already present for him. So to be 26 years old, he is now moving up in weight class. We are presuming he is going to be more comfortable at that weight. And to have that, while also already having the veteran experience of, yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot in the cage I haven't really seen before because I fought two of the best to have ever done it. That's a very good spot to be in if you are Ilia Topuria. On the other end of it, Charles Oliveira getting a title shot, and it kind of feels like it's out of nowhere for him. Oliveira coming into this one on a 3-2 run in his last 5. The wins are over Michael Chandler, Beneil Dariush, and Justin Gaethje. That doesn't just scream title shot to me personally. So I think that he has benefited here, a shifting landscape. He has worked himself into a name that it's just kind of, oh, you've won one, and we need a someone to be in a title fight. There you go. Like he kind of just feels like he has worked himself into that, and that's kind of what this feels like right now. The landscape shifts in a couple of different weight classes, allowing him to get this opportunity. When you think about the dominoes that have to fall of Topuria getting the belt at 145 and the UFC feeling like there are a couple of worthy opponents to challenge for a championship at 145 pounds, moving up to 155 to get the opportunity at the belt, that just gets presented because it gets vacated. So Makhachev is going to move up to 170 because Jack Della Maddalena picked up a win in that fight, and Islam Makhachev feels like that's a more winnable one. So you have Topuria being able to move up to 155 because of good challengers down there, and no challengers at 155, which allows Makhachev to move up for that belt. And now all of a sudden, they need a dance partner, and Oliveira wins his last fight, and he gets a title opportunity. Like, a lot had to go right for Oliveira to get this championship chance. It is just a matter of where he is at now in his career, skills-wise. From a fight standpoint, the two losses in the 3-2, we said wins over Chandler, Dariush, and Gaethje. The losses are to Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan. One was the champion, the other got a title shot off of that opportunity. So he's losing to the elite guys and beating guys who are a little bit more on the back nine of their career in Dariush, Chandler, and in Gaethje. Which one do you think Topuria is more of than the other? He is certainly more in the top guy category than he is the back nine portion of his career. So it feels like an uphill climb for the former lightweight champion. But a win here, and you are beating someone who is at or near the top of the pound-for-pound rankings. You now become a two-time lightweight champion and kind of solidify that legacy a little bit more. So some interesting storylines developing out of the main event at UFC 317. As far as the co-main event is concerned, Alexandre Pantoja just looks to continue his dominance. It would be a fourth successful title defense if he were to do it on Saturday night, and quite frankly, there haven't been many who have come particularly close. I do think, considering the main event features someone who is doing this, I do think people bouncing up and down in weight classes happening a little too much right now, but he is getting into cleaned out the division territory, and I think a win here probably gets you into that spot. On the other side of it is Kai Kara-France, who is trying to shock the world. It basically feels like he's getting this opportunity because Pantoja has beaten everybody else. Kai Kara-France gets the win here, or gets the opportunity after he beat former title challenger Steve Erceg in his last fight. So, like, there's that, I guess. But the Erceg title challenge felt a little premature. So KKF getting this off of that win and then two losses, it seems a little early. He's a talented fighter. He's 32 years old, so he is still in the prime of his career and all of those things. But it is going to take the performance of a lifetime to win this fight for KKF. As always, plenty more UFC coverage to come throughout the week as we get ready for UFC 317. Video will be up shortly if you are watching this taped. If you're watching live, we're going to be coming to it a little bit later. And if you're listening in podcast form, it'll be on the show tomorrow, looking at the fighters to watch for UFC 317.